we're back with the Hot Pass podcast. That's 2 weeks in a row, baby. 2 weeks in a row. You guys didn't really show up on the first episode. What the hell's going on, huh? We're just gonna out all you like that. You didn't come out on the first podcast like I thought you would. So we're gonna continue, and eventually you guys will come back. It is the off season though, so everybody's kind of watching NFL. They could really care less about NASCAR, but I really think with how all the news that's came out in the last week with Tony Stewart and Jimmy Johnson back in the Truck Series, the playoff changes, and so on and so forth. Like, I think we've got something here. I feel like we're really getting back into it. The Clash is probably, 2-3 weeks away at the time of this recording. And then you get the Super Bowl. Who cares? Because then the weekend after is always the Daytona 500. And then we're feeling real good, right hot, mighty fine. All right, let's get the nonsense out of the way. Hot Pass Podcast on YouTube. Go like, share, subscribe to the podcast. It helps you, help me be able to grow this podcast and make me feel more confident about putting out these YouTube videos, baby. It's a lot of processing, a lot of time that goes into be able to upload these on YouTube. So go share some love on there. Also, go to Eric Furlong 21 on Instagram. Go follow me on there. We're going to try and put more clips out from the YouTube and put it out there. Always watch my stories. We're going to put up new posts throughout the year. And then maybe we'll try and live stream some of the finales of the races. Definitely, hopefully with the Daytona 500 if I have some friends over. All right? Let's go follow at Eric Furlong 21 on Instagram. Then go to Furlong Eric __ on TikTok and Twitter. Twitter is mainly where I'll be talking about NASCAR all the time, so you guys are going to want to follow me there. And then wherever the link is in the bio, wherever you find me, go over to the Action Network. We're 200 units all time in betting across all sports, but mainly if you guys go check out the credentials here, the NASCAR Cup Series is where it's at. But in general, the Xfinity and Truck Series, you have to stay into the Friday morning betting shows to be able to stay tuned to that, because that's where the Truck and Xfinity is going to be exclusive throughout the year. Because you can't put your bets, I'm just going to pop a drink here. You can't put your bets on the Action Network for Truck and Xfinity right now. So we're having a tough time with that. I'm just lightly spilling my beer all over my fucking... Didn't I say last week? Didn't I say last week that this was going to happen at some point on this desk? We're gonna spill a beer. So don't mind me. It's all over my fucking pants right now. But we don't want to get up, edit the podcast. Let me just make sure it's not all over the seat. How about that? We're raw. We're uncut, bitch. That's what we do. This is what we do. Thursday nights, just fucking recording this pod, and we're trying to have a beer, and it spills all over you. Yeah, dang, bro. Okay. Back into the podcast. Let's put that there. Maybe this is why I don't drink till like NASCAR race. You can spill it all over yourself. You don't care because you turn lefts, brother. You turn lefts and you don't care because you're in the greatest country in the world, America. Arguably the greatest country in the world with everything that's kind of going on right now. So shout out, oh my God, we're not going down that road. Anywho, we got all the nonsense out of the way, right? I feel like I was forgetting something last week when I was talking about it, but yeah, man. Also, before I kind of dive into this, something that just came to my mind. It's not on the list of things I want to talk about, but Cletus McFarlane and George Squirrel in the YouTube videos, and Cletus's YouTube videos are both going to try and go ARCA racing. Now, I'm just kind of assuming. I'll have to get my buddy Kyle on here, but I'm just assuming. He hasn't told me anything. I just want to let everybody know I don't know anything about this. I haven't messaged Kyle about it. I haven't asked him about it, but this is where my brain's at. Now, if you guys have listened to the podcast in the past, we've had Kyle Steckley on twice. That's my boy from here in Canada. He actually, congratulations to him. Him and his lady just moved down to Mooresville. I'm assuming he's trying to get a job down there in NASCAR, but also keep racing. And I feel like you got to be embedded in NASCAR down in Mooresville, Huntersville, and in around that area, Charlotte, to be able to really get a career in NASCAR. So good for him. Congrats to him. I'm really excited for him. Now, he was racing for Rhett Jones Racing, which is also Cletus and George and Squirrel, slash Squirrel, race for in ARCA, and everything that was going on with Greg Biffle. And last year, Cletus McFarland took a lot of the, beginning of the year, Kyle was looking forward to getting a lot more ARCA races, at least getting a handful. He ended up doing Daytona, and then he ends up obviously wrecking in the first 15 laps because of Amber Balkan, coming off of turn 4. And then you didn't see him in ARCA again. And then when he was racing for Rhett Jones in the ASA Stars Tour, the first year in 2024, he ended up winning a race in Indiana at the Bull Ring. And if I'm not mistaken, and the races were going really well. The beginning of the year of 2024, it was a little like they showed a bit of speed, and then really found the win, and was I think he ended up getting Rookie of the Year. Last year in 2025, totally the opposite. They would show up unprepared. Like Rhett Jones was showing up unprepared to the track. At least from when I was watching at the races, like horribly slow. Like the Snowball Derby, I don't think him and Noah Gragson both didn't qualify. And then throughout the year, they would either get in wrecks or just missing the setup and not even remotely close to the top 5, even the top 10 at times. So, and then now you see with Cletus and George both racing in ARCA, I feel like the reason, if you guys didn't know, Kyle left Rhett Jones, and then now he's moved down to Mooresville, hopefully trying to get better opportunities in racing, take his money elsewhere, and his talents elsewhere. It's not just about money. The kid has unreal talent. If you see him racing in Canada, he's by far better than everybody in Canada. Obviously Cole Butcher's up there for really high talent. You saw him go to Thor Sport on, I think that was Thursday morning. So, but obviously like Rhett Jones is going down a different path. There's no hate on Rhett Jones. No hate on them. They created what Noah Gragson is now. He's in the Cup Series. It's a great team. But I truly do feel, as biased towards Kyle, that they are growing a little bit too fast. And they've got the NASCAR Euro Series. Once all this other stuff happened with Cletus driving in ARCA, them focusing on the Euro Series, them expanding and doing different things inside that organization. And, they know better about business more than me. I don't know much about that kind of stuff. I'm not a finance guru. I don't own a NASCAR, or I don't own a race team. And so maybe they think that they're doing what's best for them, and that's totally fine. And they probably are, right? They've been successful long enough, and they've been around long enough that they know what they're doing. But in my eyes, when you see the product that Kyle was getting brought to his ASA Stars races every single week or every few weeks, you start to think, are they focusing on different things and putting more time and effort in other things? And I feel like you saw a lot of that stuff. Like a lot of these teams will go towards like guys like Cletus and social media influencers and all that. Like, what's her nuts in the truck series now? I'm going to have to look it up here. My trackpad's got a little bit of beer on it. Ugh. What the hell? Tricon Garage Drivers. Tony Brightinger. I just came to my mind. I knew if I started typing it out, it would come up to me. But Tony Brightinger, for example, right? Like, I love her. She's great. She brings a lot of money, a lot of sponsorships. She has a great attitude, great personality, right? And she's very beautiful, right? I do think, though, that a lot of these teams get those people to get that money for a really long time, or that short amount of time to be able to make themselves profitable. They ship them to the side, and then they go back to their normal ways of hiring actual good drivers, right? No hate on Tony Brightinger, but we obviously see on a weekly basis the talent that she brings compared to other people, right? And it's not harping on that she's a girl. It's just the easiest one to pick out of the lot, definitely in the truck series, these bigger series, of who's a major social media influencer. Like, her following on Instagram is insane compared to every other driver in NASCAR. So I mean, she probably pulls better numbers than Carson Hocevar by far. So that brings a lot of money, and it seems to me that that's what Rhett Jones Racing is kind of doing with Cletus and Squirrel now, and Squirrel going into it. Great fire suit by Heatwave for Squirrel. I fucking think it's amazing. And I'm going to be watching those guys all year, and we're obviously going to be all rooting for Cletus and Squirrel, definitely with all the Biffle stuff going on. And I love watching his YouTube videos. I watch every single one that comes out, so it's no hate on them. It's the direction they're going, and I hope that Kyle can kind of find his feet down in in North Carolina, be able to get a good ride, or find a really good job and try and find whatever ride every once in a while he can get. I know he's going to be flying back up to Canada and racing in the APC tour here in like Ontario or whatever for short tracks. So I'll see him at some tracks and ask him what's been going on, and hopefully we can get him on here when he finds some time and he gets his feet kind of steady or whatever down in North Carolina. So that's kind of just what I wanted to talk about. It just kind of came to my mind before we kind of dive into everything else that's on the list of things to talk about on the podcast today. So obviously no hate on Rhett Jones, no hate on Cletus, Squirrel. I'm just some nobody. You guys know best. So, and we're all no hate on them because we're all rooting for them, right? So no hate on them. Last week, we're going to talk about it now. The last week of I think it was on Thursday. So right after I recorded the podcast last Wednesday. Jimmy, also on Thursday, Jimmy Johnson. Now we kind of saw something. What was it? Did Jimmy Johnson liked something? Or he teased something like a week prior to the truck announcement. And we're all like, oh, he's coming back to the truck series, isn't he? And Jimmy Johnson to the truck series at the San Diego race. Now, let me tell you, boy, it ain't going to go well. It ain't going to go well. Just like the Tony Stewart shit at Daytona. I hope it does. I hope I have proved wrong. But let me tell you, Jimmy knows what he's doing. He's going to go to the truck series. Hasn't raced there ever, or I'd like to know if Jimmy Johnson's raced there. And if anything, it was back in the fucking 90s, dog. It's been a long time. The era I was born, brother. I'm 29. Okay. A little long. And so Jimmy Johnson's going to the truck series at San Diego, and I think it's going to be an absolute wreck fest. Those road courses, I just really hope that the new point system and everything cleans that up. But we already know the truck series. It ain't going to do it. And Jimmy's going to be caught in the weeds with a lot of guys doing crazy stuff. And, I just really hope it plays out well for the man. I don't expect him to win. If Corey Heim does one of those like one-off races and it's a road course, he's going to spank everybody. So we'll see. We'll see what goes on with Jimmy. I'm excited to see him race anytime. Honestly, I'm more excited to see Jimmy Johnson race in the truck series or if he got into an Xfinity ride rather than the Cup. It's been disastrous when Jimmy Johnson goes to the Cup series. It has been absolutely horrible to watch. He'll do a couple laps and get wrecked right away. And it hurts me to see a guy growing up watching Jimmy Johnson win 7 championships, to see what he's going through when he does drive in the third Legacy Motorsports car. I just want to see him drive an Xfinity and trucks, to be honest, probably a lot less safe because of the amount of wrecks go up through the roof. But at least he's got probably more talent than all those young guys. So to at least kind of hopefully get towards the front, I really hope that we get a little Jimmy Johnson action inside the top 5 and you get to see him battle out with guys, because it would just be great to see. And I really hope he pulls through on a road course. But I'm not expecting much out of Jimmy, and I don't think anybody really is. It's just exciting to see him in a truck race. It's just, there's a lot less stress, I feel like, when he's going into a truck race. Also costs a lot less. So good for Jimmy. Another bit of news that came out last week, and kind of people just brushed it away, but obviously we saw that I feel like NASCAR drivers just need to stop going skiing and snowboarding and do it after you retire. We talked about this Chase Elliott shit a while ago when he had his busted leg or whatever, and we never saw him in a cast. Okay, we're going to bring this up again. A few years ago, there was an incident of Chase Elliott busting his leg, and they said it was a snowboarding incident. You never saw the guy with a busted leg, did you? You never saw him in a cast or anything. What's the first thing that they show with Brad Keselowski when they came out with the news that he busted his leg? Boom, there's his family. He's in a cast, whatever. He's announcing that he's not going to be racing for a little bit. He's not going to be in a car. He's not going to be able to do any of the testing. Corey LaJoie to the number 6 for the Clash. But you never saw Chase Elliott with a cast on. And I heard a lot of rumors about Chase Elliott and what actually went on with him. So if you want to know, listen to the Hot Pass podcast, listen to the podcast from a few years ago. You can get your little scoop on that one or DM me. But Chase Elliott, you never saw the guy in a cast. It makes you think, did he actually break his friggin' leg? Get the conspiracy, get the tinfoil cap on. Brad Keselowski immediately came out with his busted leg. So take that. So, little odd, but Corey LaJoie going to the 6 for the Clash, don't expect much. Corey LaJoie's one job, don't wreck that freaking car. That's what we have Corey LaJoie now. Corey LaJoie is this guy that'll just pop into a seat. Bit of a douche canoe. But he'll just pop into the seat whenever he needs to, whenever people need him, or he go a little funding or whatever to do a one-off race nowadays. You'll just see his face every once in a while, and then he disappears because that's what we want him to be, is disappeared. And he'll be in the truck series, I'm sure, at some point again. So, yeah, that little news, Corey LaJoie to the 6 for the Clash. With this busted leg, though, with Brad Keselowski, I'd like to know what his own contract is for RFK, because I feel like if he does not perform well this year, I think with that busted leg, it's not your lower back or your back, where when you're driving, you got to feel everything like around your ass going into your back, and you can kind of feel the movement of the cars and the adjustments you need to make. So it's not like that, but I think it's going to take him a bit to do this, to be able to get back into form. So with this new chase points in the new playoff format, he needs to get into form right away. Start clicking off races. You can't be running 25th. You can't be running 20th. You got to start finishing off races. Be consistent. And I feel like that hinders him a bit. So I don't expect much of Brad Keselowski like the first half of the season with this busted leg. Also, I have an idea. Let's just get this idea out here. Okay. A weekly update, or anytime Xfinity is racing. I thought about this. I think this is a genius idea. Coming from me. So this genius idea on a weekly basis on the Hot Pass podcast is going to be, we're going to do an update on Patrick Staropoli. Okay. The guy that took Nick Sanchez's ride. And we're going to give an update on Big Machine Racing and the number 48 truck or car every single week that Xfinity is racing. And we're going to compare last year's results from Nick Sanchez to Patrick Staropoli. And I think that's going to be great, because justice for Nick Sanchez on this one. Staropoli, I looked at his numbers. He's won one race, and it was like an ARCA. Let me look. He has one win at Irwindale in 2014 at a K&N West race. Okay. What else has he done? He's ran in the top 5. Other than that, one time across ARCA, Trucks, Xfinity, K&N Series, ARCA East, West, everything. He's only had one top 5 outside of that. Dog crap. And he just brought a bunch of money. What the Nick Sanchez and Patrick Staropoli whole thing is the basis of, if you guys are new to NASCAR, look it up. It's the base of what NASCAR is and who brings sponsorship and who doesn't, who's bringing more money and who doesn't. That's a prime example. And that's what we're going to do, is show, yeah, you can have talent, but sorry, you didn't bring enough money. This guy is, and we'd rather run 20th or 25th every single week. So this is what this combo is going to be. This is what this little segment on the Hot Pass podcast is going to be every week. Nick Sanchez versus Patrick Staropoli, and we're going to do little updates on a weekly basis during not the Xfinity, sorry, it's the O'Reilly series now, right? So, gonna be fun, isn't it? Boy, oh boy. I feel for Nick Sanchez. The fact that Sarapoli has one win in 2014, brother. 12 years ago. I was graduating high school, dude, when he won his last race. Get the hell out of here, man. My favorite part is Daytona weekend. I'm rooting so hard against Starapoli. Because Nick Sanchez, he won a race, right? He won that race? Or was that the truck race? Or was he just completely competitive as fuck last year? I can't remember. Don't quote me on it. But speaking of Daytona, we also got news of my favorite driver when I was a kid. I was a hothead as a child. And who did I look up? That was the hothead of all hotheads in NASCAR, Mr. Tony Stewart. And if you expect nothing less than if somebody makes a dumb move at Daytona in the truck race on the Friday night and Tony Stewart is involved, and I hope to God, Tony Stewart gets out of that car and he starts cussing, motherfucker. Hey, motherfucker, you swear to God, I swear to motherfucker, that motherfucker didn't know how to drive, motherfucker. And it boop, boop, beep, but a boop, boop, bop. That's what I want to hear coming from Tony Stewart if he gets wrecked by some dumb shit at the Daytona race for the truck series on the Friday night. That's what I want to hear out of Tony Stewart. This gets me fired up. When I saw Tony Stewart in a Dodge truck, come on, baby, come on. Pay that money, pay that bag, get his child through university with that bag right there. Pay him a bag, Mr. Tony Smoke. I want him to come out. I want him to rip and dip and dive and dodge. And if he gets caught up, I want to see the heated smoke come out of his damn ears and cuss out children. I want it. I want it and I need it. Daytona truck race, Fridays, across the whole year. I don't even know what I'm saying anymore. I'm just getting excited. As a young Tony Stewart fan, to see this now, you know how good I felt when I saw that news? Some people would say, when you're like a young man, okay, you know where this is going. And if you don't, come along for the ride. All right? When you're a young man and you're just sitting around, okay, and the wind just blows, right? And if you don't know where we're going, keep on holding on. Don't click away from the podcast. We're still here, okay? When you're a young man and the wind just blows and you get your first erection, that is what it felt like when I saw Tony Stewart, okay? Tony freaking Stewart driving in a Dodge, okay? Welcome back, Dodge. Pay the man the bag. And he is going to be dipping and diving at Daytona. Yeah, that felt rock hard, brother. Nothing less, nothing more than just a rock hard. That's it. Keep it PG. 13. PG-13, brother, because holy moly, I am so excited. I'm going to pull out the Tony Stewart jacket. I'm going to just be rocking with the Tony Stewart Home Depot. I'm going to go to Home Depot that day. Okay, we're going to Home Depot that day. We're going to just talk to the people and be like, did you hear Tony Stewart's back? They're going to be like, who? And I go, that's what I thought. Not a true fan, not a true coworker of Home Depot. Let's dive back in. They'd be like, Joey Logano? Get the fuck. Dude, if I showed up at a Home Depot nowadays and somebody went, oh, you mean Joey Logano that drove for Home Depot? I'd go, oh, burn in hell, brother. Who are you? Not you. Get out. Fired. Lose your job. Give me that. And just pop the little name pin right there. Boop. Karen. Ryan. I'm you now. Boop. If somebody ever... Oh, I can't wait. If I see somebody at a race and they're wearing Joey Logano Home Depot shit, take that guy's alcohol away from him. Take his wife and his kids go to the lawyer, get a divorce. That is what we do. Fucking wearing Joey Logano. Who's the OG? Check yourselves. Tony, Stewart, Smoke. Tony Smoke, Stewart. However you want to say it. Is back. And if I'm the only one that's rock hard for that, well then fuck me. You know? Well, don't fuck me, but fuck me, you know? I love it. I love it. Am I the only one that's getting this excited for NASCAR? With all the news, man, it's awesome. It is so good to be almost back. Almost. Because when is the NASCAR 2026 schedule? I just want to double check. February 1st. You'd love to see it. February 1st. So that's what? 2 weeks? 2 weeks. 2 weeks this Sunday. So how about that? Almost there, kids. Almost there. I'm so excited. Oh my God. Just keep bringing it up. I just keep picturing all the memories I have of just watching Daytona and watching it with family and friends and going to the races. I'm going to Atlanta. I'm so excited. So that's like 3 weeks. So 3 weeks away from today, the time of recording this on the Thursday. I'm 3 weeks away. Let me look at that again. Just want to make sure. And a one. Oh, no. You're an idiot because that's a class. Then you got to go to Daytona. Okay, so we are. That's a clash. The 8th is the Super Bowl. Okay, so we're a month. We'll be a month away on Sunday? Yeah, I think. Month and a week, whatever it is. Anyways, I'm excited to go to Atlanta. We're having a good time. We're going to have fun. We're going to have a blast. What can you say? Anywho, also, this past Tuesday, horsepower test with the new car. Tuesday, NASCAR hosted a test of the new 750 horsepower rules configuration at North Wilkesboro. And also the playoff, everything came out. Let me see if I could find lovely Kyle Busch's thoughts. That would be fun to look up. Was it Bob Pockris? Is it really worth even pulling this up? No, I think it was, I was going to say, that's what I was going to talk about. It was a little Kyle Larson stuff and a little bit later on. Let me actually pull that one up while we're talking here. They did the horsepower test or whatever with the new car and the new configuration and stuff. And hey, I don't know enough about it. Didn't pay too much about it. But let me tell you, the new Chevy body looks nice. And the best part about just following Ryan Williams, that designs everything for Junior Motorsports, on Twitter and everything, he notices these fine little things of him. Because with the designs that he does and the artwork he does on the Junior Motorsports cars, he notices little fine little differences of every single car. And even the old cars, and that's just the artistry and his big brain, not little brain. Hold up. Ryan doesn't have a little brain. His brain just sees and picks up little things. His eyes pick it up. And he said that the lights, the tail lights, if you go look at the old car compared to the new car, the light's just a little bit higher. It's just kissing that spoiler just a little bit more. And it looks really good. That ass, some people would say, that ass looks fine. So there's that. I wonder if on here I could pull up what I've saved. Yes, I can. Because it pulled up a bunch of... There was something Kyle Larson said the other day, and I wanted to talk about it because he was talking about who's going to win the championship race. But anyways, we'll go back to the 750 horsepower. I hope to God that this changes. We're going in the right direction on short tracks with the tires. So keep that going. More horsepower. And let me tell you right now, if the more horsepower doesn't help at all, after this whole year, because after one race, they're going to obviously make tweaks, tire, car a little bit. So when we go to Martinsville for the first time or Bristol, I'm going to wait till the next time around and we start getting later on in the year. That's when I'm really going to start making more of a judgment call on the short track stuff. And the new setup with it with the 750 horsepower. So we're just gonna wait and see. I'm not getting too excited, not getting too high, not too low. But let me tell you, Denny Hamlin, he was on this hill, boy. He was on this hill, and he died on that hill, and it's gonna bite him in the ass if this horsepower shit don't work out. So, anyways, the new championship configuration, playoff format. If I pull it up, I think I could probably pull it up on NASCAR. Did you guys also see, while we're pulling this up, that Austin Dillon's dad is like, he's like a really high position now at RCR. Keep it in the family, man. And fuck, do they look alike? It's kind of weird, man. Go look that up. I think it was on RCR's Instagram and like Twitter and stuff. I can't remember his first name, but obviously Dillon. And God, they look alike. It's weird. It's a mix of obviously both of his sons. It's friggin' weird, dude. I was like shocked how much they look alike. Here's the format. No. I don't want a video. Actually, you know what? How long is this video? Let's just listen to it.
Up with this format. And just kind of a quick history of how we got to where we were. Tim Clark headed up a group that included a number of folks.
All right, actually, let's fast forward a little bit. See if we can get the info here from Big Dog. Aha.
The points will be set. So the points leader system and the final 10 races will make up the chase. So if you go into the chase format, first and foremost, you want to look at how the points will be set. So the points leader will go into the chase at 2,100 points. It was important for us to have a bonus for that leader, so they'll have a 25-point lead over second place and a 35-point lead over third place, and then the positions beyond that will go down by 5 points. What also was really important for the group that got together was winning. I talked about that, and we're going to take winning from 40 points up to 55 points. Believe that'll be a great incentive for the drivers each and every race to have to go out there and perform, but also go for wins. And while I have a minute to, I want to take a moment to thank Mark for coming from his vacation. I know it's a long trip from out west. Mark Martin was the first guy in the room to stand up and say, I want to go back to full season points. There were a lot of folks who wanted to throw Mark out of the room initially. But what Mark did was got us to a position where what's the right balance? And the balance between those who like the playoff and those who like that full season points. And we believe we've struck that balance. We've got the best of both worlds where every race matters. We've talked to a lot of folks in the industry. We've run a lot of different models and believe this is the best place to land, really to get back to who we are. That's the core of NASCAR and want to launch this, and we're really excited.
Well, there we go. How about that? Back to the chase. Now, I'm going to try and edit the video into here onto the YouTube so you guys can go check it out. Because we're going to break down these 6 guys here. You obviously got Chase Elliott in the back left. You got Blaney in the middle and Briscoe. Briscoe, hey, we know why you're wearing that hat, brother. That hairline, gone. All right. First off, see you later. That hairline's gone. Shave it. Be a bald brother. All right. Join the family. Please. I mean, even Chase Elliott, give it a few more years, shave it off, pal. That shit receding. And I can talk about this because I ain't got no hair, brother. So obviously you got Chase Briscoe. Then you got Mr. Mark Martin himself. You know, just looking at Mark here, obviously then you have Dale Jr. and then the big dog on the right. Looking at Mark Martin, doesn't he look low-key kind of jacked, brother? Doesn't he look like he could fucking just bench some plates? So looking at Mark Martin, you're just like, now, if everybody knows now that this guy listens to Gucci Mane, he listens to lots of rap, you just see Mark Martin here, and the G he had to be to go into that room and be like, this is the playoff format. You're not kicking me out. This is how it's going to be, and you're going to have to force me and try and push me out of this room. I'm speaking for the people. I'm speaking for the fans. And then for him to show up with a crew neck, fitted on the arms, looking absolutely jocked. Oh my God. That guy's like, I did what I did. I'm going to die on this hill. All right. And you going to mess with me and Gucci Mane? Bring it on. He probably, when he left this thing tonight, or that night, when they announced the chase is back, you think he just like sat in his car when he was driving home and he just like, I get money, I get it. Just played like 50 Cent. Do you think he did that? What's like another really good song to just, yeah, fuck him. I got him. I'd like to know. But he just looks like a G. Then you obviously get the lovely Dale Jr. Oh, he looks very spiffy. You think Dale Jr. picks out his outfits? Do you think Dale Jr. He looks very dapper. You think he picks out his outfits? I'd like to know. You think he did his hair? I can't see him picking out his own outfits. But let's just break down the guys in the back. All right, we already did Chase Briscoe. Chase Elliott couldn't look more boring. Couldn't look any more less impressed to be there. Guy completely, ultimately, has no fun. Does he smile? Does he get excited? Does he get down? Does he have highs and lows? We don't know. As a hater of Chase Elliott, who knows? Okay. A hater of their fan base, who knows? Now, Ryan Blaney, on the other hand, they are having a second baby very soon, brother. I am, whoo! When you see this man, I have a mustache. My shit's pitiful. You see Ryan Blaney pull up on that thing? Dude, that thing is wrapped around the top lip. It is full. It is luscious. And let me tell you, have a second kid. Maybe make 3. Have twins. Maybe triplets. Because that's what that mustache gonna do. All right? I swear, if that man shows up, if this is the off-season mustache, and he shows up at Daytona with no mustache, season's going to be bad. Predicting it here. Ryan Blaney, bad season if that mustache is gone. You keep riding that thing. Please. He's got men and women going crazy. Maybe just me. But that mustache is sick, brother. That's what I would like to achieve. Maybe one day. I can't have any hair. I can't have a good mustache. What's wrong with me? Anywho. Now, the championship format.
About the and the
Hold up. I don't want... Okay. So let's just kind of break it down here. So, brother, we're going to have 26 regular season races, 10 chase races, 16 drivers, 10 tracks, one champion. So basically, I heard Dale Jr. on his podcast basically break down, like, if you're showing up at the bottom of the 16, like, you'd have to go on an absolute heater to be able to win the championship. I do like that. Man, you are going to have to be consistent. And honestly, that placates, we're going to go break through this, and then we're going to go to Kyle Larson's takes, but it really favors about one driver, but maybe about 2 drivers. If you look at who was the most consistent last year on a weekly basis, that's Kyle Larson and Chase Elliott. Now, Kyle Larson, all year, I ain't calling him the champion. I'm calling Denny Hamlin the people's champion. Kyle Larson, on the other hand, is a fraud champion. You didn't deserve to win that. Now, with being consistent, as a Kyle Larson and Chase Elliott hater, if you guys have listened to the podcast long enough, I don't like them. I don't like their fan bases. They're usually pieces of crap. I have a couple of friends that are really good people and really great human beings that are Chase Elliott or Kyle Larson fans, and to each their own. All right, I also have a friend that's a Todd Gilliland fan. What? You're a fan of who? But at least at the end of the year, we can all go, like Joey Logano, there was no shot he was winning his championships. Definitely not the last one because of how god-awful he raced. So to me, he's still not a champion in my eyes. But obviously, Joey Logano came out saying that he was like shocked and like upset that they changed it. Yeah, because you don't run good all year. You sneak into the playoffs And then you go win championships off of some fluky shit. Now, that's what the playoffs were. But anyways, at least with Kyle Larson and Chase Elliott, they run consistent every single week. They're out front. They're doing their thing. They're dancing. They're getting points. They're winning races. Maybe not Chase Elliott, but Kyle Larson is. And they just stay consistent enough that they get lots of points. And if I can personally accept, as the hater of those two guys, if that's our champion because he raced consistent all year, I can get back behind that. I can celebrate that. I'm not going to be the happiest in the world because I'm not a fan of them, but at least I can go, yeah, well, they deserved it. Like Kyle Larson, like nobody in the offseason did I ever see everybody go like, yeah, big fan of Kyle Larson. Congrats on the championship. Nobody was like happy about Kyle Larson winning the championship. There was, on my social media, how much NASCAR is on there. You saw it for like maybe a couple of days, but nobody was hooting and hollering about it. Everybody was like in absolute shock that to this day that Denny Hamlin didn't win. So at least if one of those two guys win, especially Kyle Larson, we can all go, you deserved it and you raced well all year. So obviously 55 points per race win. Previously 40 points. No more winning in. Fan-friggin-tastic. Sorry, Joey Logano. Cry us a river. Points leader entering the chase earns a 25-point advantage over second. So 2,100, then 2,075, 2,065, then 2,060, 2,055, and then it goes down by 5 increments every single time, all the way down to 16. So you start, if you're first in the playoffs with points, you start at 2,100. If you're 16th, you start at 2,000. The driver with the most points after the final 10 races wins the championship. Which I just wish that we still had like consistency, but or like the actual just regular chase all year, because that's what F1 does, and everybody's fine with it. Everybody's happy with it, and no, we don't compare ourselves to F1. I get it; it's a whole different racing series. Cars are completely different. But that's what they do, and everybody's fine with it. Max Verstappen could win 7 races, win it 7 races before the end of the year, and we're all going, okay, that's fine. Let's just see how dominant he can be and win those last few races. So whatever. But at least everybody is so right. Dale Jr. says it. Everybody says it. Explaining, dude, as me in Canada especially, trying to get people in Canada to become a NASCAR fan, and then sit them down and then trying to explain the playoff situation or like playoff format that we used to have was like doing surgery. Explaining surgery to somebody just came up off the street. Now there's a guy with an open heart and we need you. It was impossible. And it was hard to be able to get people into it. And now I can just go, yep, okay, so we got to take like all year, like you can win races, you get 55 points every single race win. And it accumulates, and then at the end of those, the 25 races or whatever it is, all of a sudden now we're going to the last 10. We're going to the championship 10 races, and then now he's in first. Boom, that's good, cool. And then every single race, if you're consistent, boom, you can go win a championship. You can't just win and get in to the Final Four. I'm just happy we got away from the championship 4. And as far as I know, they're doing the O'Reilly series as well as the Truck series. So I really got to get used to saying O'Reilly series. I keep wanting to say Xfinity. So the one thing I'm going to put a clip out on Instagram is all me saying Xfinity. Oh, but anywho. And then obviously we have Kyle Larson saying what he likes to say. Here's his thoughts on the chase. He was asked at the Chili Bowl that's going on throughout this week. He was asked about the playoff format. He hasn't really been able to see it, but here's what he said.
We read through it, so I don't know. I mean, maybe I know all the details. I like I said, I quickly read through it after the drivers' meeting here.
Oh, hey now.
So yeah, I mean, I think it's good. You know, I think the sport or the old playoff system it kind of ran its course, and yeah, I think now it's gonna be a fairer way to crown a champion, you know, so, and still produce a lot of excitement. So I think it benefits everybody too, you know, at least your contenders. You know, it's really hard to win one race and win the championship. So I think we probably all, you know, top contenders who were, you know, battling for championships in the old system probably all like this way better and feel like our chances of winning a championship are now higher, you know, if you can go out there and be consistent and execute and run up front. So, which is something I feel like we do well at Hendrick, and hopefully we can show that.
I love that from him. And deep inside, when you see that man's eyes, he knows, oh, I'm winning multiple championships. He's a 2-time Cup Series champion. 1, domination. 2nd one, fraudulent. So the little asterisk to the side of that one, forever. So he's a 1-time Cup Series champion, fraudulent on the 2nd. But that deep inside, when he mentions Hendrick and how good they are, he's feeling pretty freaking good. And my favorite part about this championship, right, and the playoff format that we have, I'm going to stop calling it the playoff format, the chase format that we have now. We saw at the end of the year with F1 how unreal that was. All the little, this guy could finish here, but this guy could, if he finishes here, this guy could win the championship. If this guy finishes here, and then this other guy finishes here, and he finishes and wins the race, that guy could win the championship. Like, it was unreal. Everybody tuned in, because I even tuned in and watched every last lap and was like, what the hell's going to happen? Because Lando had to finish inside the top 3 or top 4, and I think he ended up finishing 3rd or something, or 2nd. So it was like, and Max won the race anyway. So like, man, it wasn't easy. One slip up by McLaren and you're sitting there like, oh my God, like it could happen. What happens if he like loses too much time on pit road? They have a bad pit. Like, that's what I get excited for. We could have that in a championship race. I think when people were looking at the points last year, we could have had that. We could have had a 4-way battle. So we've had these opportunities. If you look at the points, and everybody did the Winston Cup Series points throughout the year, like you could have had that kind of stuff. But instead we had the bull honky we had before. So I'm just happy that that's what we're getting. I'm really excited. The NASCAR season's around the corner, and it's going to be a blast, man. If you're not in a NASCAR yet and you're just listening to this for the first time, or you're just slowly getting into it, this is going to be the best season we've had in a long time. Lots of races to go to. First off, I'm starting off in Atlanta, then I'm going to Darlington for the throwback weekend. So if you're going to be there, hit me up. I've also got Watkins Glen on the plans. I've got Michigan always. I've been invited by a friend and his other friends to go to Chicagoland. I think that's what it is. Chicagoland later on in the year. So we're going to go to that. And then in the fall, hopefully maybe get down to one more race. I'd like to go to a lot more. But we're trying to save for more trips in 2027. And cause I was also talking to my aunt last weekend that she owns a place down in Belize, and I really want to do like a week or 2 trip, probably like a 10-day trip down in Belize in 2027 in the winter. So that's really what my plan is. Also, there's like a tattoo convention called True Blue Tattoo Convention in the Netherlands. That happens in May. And I really want to go to that in 2027. I've always wanted to go over to Europe. I've always wanted to go to the Netherlands. And I would like to go at least for a week. They do it on the Saturday and Sunday. You guys can go check them out actually on Instagram if I'm right on that. Let me actually type it in. True Blue _ tattoo convention on Instagram. If you guys go look at that, it's got the convention itself has 16.2 thousand followers for a convention. That is unreal. So that's a lot of people just for a convention. But if you look at the artists, Unreal artists there, obviously you guys know that I'm heavily tattooed and I love tattoos. So they usually do that on this year is May 9th and 10th in 2026. So roughly around the same time in 2027, it'll be a Saturday and Sunday. And I really want to go to that. So I'd like to go for like a week or a little bit more than a week and kind of take the train around to like other countries. And then on that weekend, come into Amsterdam a day before and go check out Amsterdam. And then I think it's just south of Amsterdam in another town or another little city. is where the tattoo convention is, and I'd love to go get a few tattoos. Like, it's world-renowned guys. I think Sway Tattooer is going to be there, guy that I love. There's like so many good ones. Alex Duquette, bunch of other people that I'm a huge fan of. Who else is going? Tammy Kim from Toronto. She tattoos in New York now. She's unreal. Like, so many good artists, man. So I'd like to go to that next year. So we're going to try not to go. We're not going to go to too many races, but we're going to go to enough. All right? Anywho, that's been the Hot Pass podcast, baby. This one was a lot more organized, a lot better. I took a lot of notes. I'm going to get better at that. We're going to try and do that throughout races as well. Take a lot of notes and break down little things, okay? Once again, in the next coming weeks, it's going to be just Fridays. Until the Clash, we're going to probably do a Monday show. Toss this show that's on the Fridays right now. I'm just breaking down a bunch of info. We'll do it on the Monday leading up to the Clash. Then Friday, we'll end up having the betting breakdown, the betting show on the Friday leading up to the Clash. Then back once again, just on the Friday, between like on the Super Bowl week, we'll just do the Friday. And then obviously lots of material coming out on social media. We'll do the Monday show leading up to the Daytona 500. Then we'll have the betting show come out Thursday morning for the duels, and then the truck series, O'Reilly series. And God, I'm going to really mess that up. And then the Daytona 500 on the Sunday. So till then, till the Clash, we're just doing Friday. So we'll talk to you guys next Friday. Make sure to go to the Hot Pass podcast on YouTube. Like, share, subscribe to the podcast. Please do that. It really helps get it to other people. This is the one I've been forgetting. Leave a 5-star rating on Spotify, Apple, wherever you get your podcasts. It really helps get to other people as well. You guys know what it is. It honestly, please take your time and go and do that 5-star rating. I know that everybody, they're either listening to this while they're at work or they're driving. Do it while you're driving. Just don't get in an accident. But please do that. It really helps get it out to other people and notice it to other people. Then go to Eric Furlong 21 on Instagram. Go follow me there. Lots of social media content coming out and clipping it up and putting it on my Instagram and other social medias. At Furlong Eric __ on Twitter and TikTok. Go follow me there. Obviously, link in the bio wherever you find me. Go to the Action Network and go follow me there. It's all free, not a sponsor. But you guys can go see all my Cup Series bets or any other like UFC bets, baseball, football, anything, hockey, any bets. Always on the Action Network. We're plus 200 units all time on all sports. So go follow us there. Make sure to listen to the Friday morning betting shows coming up in the new year during the NASCAR season, because the Truck Series and the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series is always exclusive to the Friday morning betting show. And then we always post our full betting cards about an hour or two before the races. So make sure to follow me on Twitter and Instagram. That is it. That is all. I love you guys. We'll talk to you guys next Friday. Love you and peace. And hope to God, I don't spill another beer on myself next week. All right. We'll talk to you guys later. Peace.